All right, everyone. Welcome to the C21 Island Life podcast. I'm Carlos G., your host with Live Island Life. This podcast is about showcasing the Florida Keys. Whether you're interested in vacations, relocating, or just plain old love the Florida Keys, this podcast shares with you the daily life and the daily things about the Florida Keys. We get some knowledge as well. We get to do some funny things, but it is about you and it's about this place that we love so much. So hang on, watch our podcast, and welcome to the Florida Keys. Live Island Life.
All right, everybody, this is Carlos G. from Live Island Life. We show you amazing things about the Florida Keys and also things related to real estate. Today, it's about Jason from Miami Mortgage Advisors and getting information on how to get that loan. And the beautiful thing is that they specialize on alternative financing programs. So portfolio loans, bank loans, cash statement loan, even asset-based loans, loans for people that have temporary setbacks and medical bills, divorce.
So let me stop you right here.
Sure.
How do you work with this view right here?
We're looking at the Atlantic Ocean. It's pretty cool. It's it's the Florida Keys, baby.
That's right. I mean, all I'm hearing is, I don't know, those flamingos chirping? I don't even know.
This is what we do in the Florida Keys. We focus on this quality of life. I know you live in Miami, but you spend a lot of time in the Keys now.
Absolutely.
Especially this, and this is cool because we want to show the C21 family all the different products that Jason and Sean have, and they're pretty incredible. Once you start looking about it. So let's just jump right into it, all right?
Absolutely.
So, Jason, talk to me about. Let's say, what happens when somebody gets turned down on an FHA loan somewhere else, right? FHA, conventional. What kind of options do they have with you if that happens somewhere else?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, I always like to tell people that, we still do the conventional, the VA and the FHA, but in addition to that, we also have a lot of investors that actually do portfolio financing.
Okay.
And so people kind of say, what is portfolio? And so basically, all of those programs that we mentioned have specific guidelines, and either you fit within the guidelines or you don't fit within the guidelines.
Okay.
So these portfolio loans have been created to help great customers that maybe don't fit inside that bank's lending box or that lender's lending box. So typically what we look at is when someone is turned down, we still review that customer just to make sure that we can't get them in to an FHA, a VA, or conventional.
So you do a second try there. That's
right. Well, I've got 25 years of experience, so a lot of times you're dealing with, somebody that makes $10 an hour that's in a call center, and maybe this is the first job that they've ever had, and maybe they don't understand, the ways to get around things sometimes, or what documentation that needs or doesn't need to be presented to an underwriter. So always look to see if we can first put them into those type of transactions.
Okay. The down payments and the pre-qualification, the rates, and give me a little lowdown on what's the usual for the portfolio loans.
Yeah, so typically with a portfolio loan, the minimum down payment on most programs is 10% or greater. So with the down payment being greater, you're typically dealing with a customer that has some cash to put down. Okay. So if they're looking for 100% financing, or they're looking for some type of down payment assistance, that's typically not the customer that's going to fit into a portfolio transaction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in regards to the rates, rates are a little bit higher on these programs, but typically what we like to tell people is that these are Band-Aid loans. And basically, a lot of our clients, they'll take this transaction for a short period of time in order to maybe have their business in existence for long enough, maybe to file their taxes higher, or maybe just to improve their credit overall.
Okay.
But there is a scope that we look at from that transaction.
And give me just an idea of the rates. Are we looking 5, 6, 10, 11?
So it really depends on the risk based on the customer. So from a rate perspective, most of the rates are either going to be in the high 4s all the way to probably the 9s from that standpoint. So what we look at from a fair lending standpoint is we look at every customer having an exact situation and the rate specific to that situation. So a client that puts down 30%, is going to get a better rate than somebody that puts down 10%.
Absolutely.
Okay, so normally what happens is that we look at the down payment and the loan to value on the transaction, in addition to other factors like if it's cash out or if it's a condominium. So we try to specifically look at each unique customer and be able to quote them out pretty fast once we've done an application on it.
So it's 10% kind of the floor for the
10,
portfolio?
10% is the minimum on a portfolio transaction. That is correct.
Fantastic. No, that's really good.
Okay, everybody, this was part 2 of the interview with Jason Hackworth from Miami Mortgage Advisors. You can reach Jason at 305-699-9105. Again, 305-699-9105. And we're going to continue this interview on the next podcast number 10.